Hello, and welcome once again to Movement Science 330. I prepared a series of tutorials for you today to refresh your memory of trigonometry. For many of you, it's maybe been a couple semesters since you've done your math prerequisite course, and I hope that this will be useful for you, reminding you of many of the trigonometry problems and functions that you'll use in this course while solving biomechanics problems. If after this tutorial you need more help, please come to my office hours. I'm more than willing to assist you. The learning objectives today are not only to review these trigonometry concepts, but to begin to apply trigonometry to solve real-world biomechanics problems. As I'm going through these tutorials, you may see me look down. And when I'm looking down, it's probably because I'm writing on my iPad that's below me. I'll be jotting down notes as well as helping you solve problems throughout these tutorials. So obviously you recognize that this is a triangle, and all triangles have some unique features. This includes all triangles have three sides. Let's call the sides A, B, and C. Second of all triangles have three interior angles, which we'll call alpha, beta, and gamma. And it's important to remember that regardless of the triangle, if it's a right triangle or a normal triangle, the sum of these three interior angles is always going to be equal to 180 degrees. A special case is a right triangle. And when we're talking about a right triangle, we assume that one of the angles is 90 degrees, as you can see in the bottom left corner of this triangle here. And when we have a right triangle, we have a theorem called Pythagorean's theorem that allows us to solve for the sides, or the lengths of the sides of the triangle. So if we knew two lengths, we can always solve for the third length, where a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So let's first start off by trying to solve a simple problem with Pythagorean's theorem. So we've got our right triangle here on the bottom of the screen. And we know Pythagorean's theorem says that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And we know here that a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 4. Therefore, we can solve that a squared, which is 3 squared, plus b squared, which is 4 squared, is equal to c squared. Well, we know 3 squared is equal to 9, and we know that 4 squared is equal to 16, so therefore c squared is going to be equal to 25. The last thing we need to do to solve for our hypotenuse, the length of our hypotenuse c, is to take the square root of c squared and the square root of 25, and we get that c is equal to 5. Let's try out another example, but this time we're going to try an example that's more related to biomechanics. So we've got a soccer player, and he's going to be sprinting down the field. He's going to move forward 30 meters, and then he's going to turn and go laterally 12 meters. And what we're trying to solve for is the magnitude of their displacement. So when we're talking about displacement, we're talking about the movement from their initial position there to their final position here. And we're going to draw a vector, and this is going to be our displacement vector. And it's going to have a magnitude, which, to keep notation consistent, we're going to call c. Using Pythagorean's theorem, we can now solve for this magnitude of this displacement vector to find out how far the soccer player has moved from their initial position. So again, we know that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, or that 30 squared plus 12 squared is equal to c squared. If we take out our calculators, we can solve that 30 squared is equal to 900, and we can solve that 12 squared is equal to 144. Therefore, c squared is equal to the sum of 900 plus 144, which is 1044. If we take the square root of both sides, we can solve that the soccer player's displacement, or the magnitude of their displacement, is equal to 32.3 meters. So I hope this initial tutorial was helpful for you and refresh your memory about triangles as well as Pythagorean's theorem. In the next tutorial, we're going to go over trigonometry functions that we can use to solve for the angles of right triangles. I look forward to seeing you there.